Welcome to Bookmas. I've been reading a bit of romance and I haven't read a romance book that is from the guy's POV, and so I'm curious to read that. And so I think this is that book, but I have no idea if it is. I'm always interested in hearing guys' perspective on their relationship with a woman, and so I'm hoping that this is that in a book. I will anticipate that it will be, if it actually is from the guy's POV, then it'll be 4 stars. I'm hoping it's not like a Hallmark thing. I feel like Hallmark movies are typically from the girl's perspective. So I don't think we have a risk of it being like a Hallmark type book. But I'm gonna guess it's gonna be a 4-star read for me. But let's see. A Very Merry Bromance is about a country singer, Colton, who had a one-night stand after a wedding with the groom's ex, Gretchen. After the one-night stand, Gretchen runs away and buries herself in her work as an immigration lawyer, and Colton finds himself in a writer's block. Fast forward 1 year, and Gretchen's family asks her to secure a brand deal with Colton for her family's whiskey business, and Colton agrees to consider the offer in exchange for 3 dates before Christmas with the help of his bromance book club. Colton throws himself into the task of proving to her that there's a spark between them. Will the sunshine overcome the grump? Will they fall in love? Let's find out. Okay, chapter 1 is done. That was the backstory. So last December, so I think it's a year later. Well, it says, yeah, a year later. And it's definitely from the guy's POV, at least so far. And and so it was a one-night stand and she wants to leave. Well, she just left. And so yeah, she wants nothing to do with him anymore. I think because of the situation, not necessarily because of him. So it's, yeah, I think it's on track for 4 stars, maybe 5. I'm about a third of the way through and it's good. I would say it's 4 stars so far. The girl is a lawyer. I can't remember if I said that, but I love a strong female lead, a woman in a career that might be male dominant. I love that. So the girl's a lawyer and she's just playing hard to get, and she's a grump. So I don't think I've read a grumpysunshine book yet, and so it's fun that the girl is the grump in this. But yeah, I think this will be 4 stars. Could be 5 depending on how things play out, but TBD. At page 101, it says A Cold Winter's Night, which I don't know if that's a different book, because it started out like it's a different book, and the characters, it's 2 characters in there, and neither of them are in this book that I've read 100 pages of. So I don't know what this is. I don't know if this is teasing of a new book that she came out with or an old book that she's come out with, the author. And it's in a different city. I have no idea what was the purpose of this. But it's so odd. But also an interesting idea, an interesting marketing idea. If people are already reading your book and enjoying your book and they're 100 pages in, you might as well stick in an excerpt of a future book that's coming out. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, gotta go. Okay, so I just got back home and of course I have Cane's, the unofficial sponsor of these reading videos, but I figured out what what that chapter was. So that chapter, it was page like 100 or so. Let me find it. The chapter is, okay, basically the guy is in a book club with a bunch of other guys, and it seems like most of the guys in the book club are in relationships. And so I think the other books in this like series or world or whatever are about those other relationships. So I'm not sure if I'll read them all. I like this one because it's set in Christmas. I don't know if the other ones will be. Also, I don't know if I'll like the tropes, but maybe. I'm open to it. But anyways, so Colton is the boy, gave Gretchen, the girl, a book to read. And so that little chapter where I was like, I don't know what is going on here, this is part of that book. And so it's interesting because the book that he gave her is like a grumpy sunshine book, and she is a grump and he is a sunshine. So it's kind of like book inception here, like a book within a book, but it's also the same tropes within the books. And so they're talking, every so often she'll bring up the book and how she relates to the woman in the book who is the grump. So yeah, that was good. That was a good revelation, which I realized on the plane. When she was like referring to the book, and I was like, she referred to the name of the woman. I think it's like Lauren Vanderpump or something. And I was like, oh. But anyways, it's good. I'm about 2/3 of the way through, page 262, so a little under 100 pages left. So probably about like 3 hours of reading, but it's good. I would rate it 4 stars. I think it's a solid, it could be a 5. It could be a 5. Man, I love that we started this Bookmas with a banger of a book. It makes me excited to read some of the other books. So I was real nervous, just real nervous. But yeah, it's been good. I'm excited to read more. I'm just like giddy. Ooh, my bookmark. I'm just like giddy to keep reading. But I have a meeting in about 20 minutes. It's a meeting because I think I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, but I'm a part-time admin assistant for my church, and I'm rolling off staff at the end of this year. And so the person that is backfilling me is a dear friend who's also part of the church, but we're meeting to talk about like transition of stuff and like get her onboarded to everything that I do. So I don't know how long that meeting will be, but I'm hoping I can come back to the book and finish it tonight, maybe. It's good, it's good, it's good. Yeah, it's a good 4. Also, I should say that I really enjoyed the book. I've said that because obviously it's a 4, but her writing is good. I will also say I have no idea what the main characters look like. Obviously we have this stuff on the cover, like maybe she's a brunette, but I have no idea if Colton, the main guy, is blonde, brunette. I don't know what they look like. I just know that Colton is taller than her and like pretty decently taller than her. It seems like he has to like duck down. Well, most ceilings are 8 feet and there's no way he's 8 feet, but he's pretty tall. That's all I've got. Like, I don't know if he has a lean build or more athletic, I don't know. But that's very interesting. We don't know any physical, which I kind of like because it's really just about her personality, the personalities of both of them and their attitudes and their thoughts, and less of like, oh. But also, it did say that she's very beautiful. Well, it said it in more words, like guys would fawn over her type thing. But she's a grump, so she like is kind of mean. But yeah, I've like dog-eared a bunch of the pages. I didn't have a pen to like underline stuff, but I dog-eared a bunch of the pages where, you know, they're coming to terms with what their relationship might be, if you know what I mean. So I'm confused what the other 100 pages could be about, because like everything that the book opened with has been closed. Like all those loops have been closed. So they've already, you know, said they're boyfriend, girlfriend. He had a brand deal, so the brand deal situation has been worked out. So I don't know how much more can happen. Like the book could end here and be good. So we'll see. Brew our own coffee and changing up the snacks and whatnot. But I used to get the munchkins from the Dunkin' on Wooster near your house. I think this is the first time I've laughed at this book. I could be wrong, but Snuggle, snuggle, snuggle. I am just so excited to get back to reading and to finish this. A different type of excitement than the $800 book. But I think we're getting to some really good parts. The whole thing's been good. It's been really good. But I have about 50, 70 pages left? 75 pages? No, wait. Like 60 pages left? No. I have about 70 pages left. So I think I can knock it out tonight. Like in the next like 2 hours. We'll see. But I have about 70 pages left and I could not be more excited. Okay. It's also a really dreary day outside, and so it's just a great day to snuggle. I wonder what the temperature is because it is quite chilly, but it's probably like 50. Yeah, it's 47 right now. So 47, cloudy, no sun. It's just like a very autumnal day. It's just a good day to be cozy inside. Do you have a new job?
I do have a new job.
Today was your first day?
Yeah, I have my fancy pants on. I need to buy more fancy pants because nobody wears, one person wore jeans. So that was a pity. I'm like, oh, dang it. More fancy pants.
Page 349. So like 5 or so more pages. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, the epilogue. Oh, it was good. It was good. Oh, it was good. It was good. Okay, I would say 4 stars. I think towards the end, the last 40 or so pages was a bit, it started to get a little Hallmarky for me. Not too much, not over the top, but it definitely felt like, I don't know if there was a shift in the writing style or whatnot, but I was not so much a fan of it. But overall, still 4 stars. It could have like, it was 4 stars for most of the book. It could have been elevated to 5 with the ending, or it could have sunk down to a 3, but I think it just stays at a 4. And I think that's probably, if that changes, if I do change it to a 5, then I'll, of course, let you know. But solid 4. I think the writing was really good, but it's also interesting. I just don't know what any of the characters look like. Like, she didn't do any physical descriptions of anyone, which I like. It's kind of fun because they could have been Hispanic for all I know. But, well, could they have been Hispanic? They could have been. Yeah, they really didn't give any descriptions of stuff. So it was good. I'm a fan. I'm a fan because she's a lawyer, and she's a lawyer for immigrants and people who are about to be deported. And then he's a country singer. So just strong female lead, and she's like, you know, growing in herself. He called her a coward at one point, and I think she's, yeah, just very protective of herself. So I think I see a bit of myself in her, and that I can be protective of myself as well. And so I think that also helps it be 4 stars versus maybe someone else who can't relate as much might say it's a 3-star book. But it's just, I I'm so glad we're starting out Bookmas with a banger. A Very Merry Bromance. Yeah, so I would read another book by this author. I don't know. I have to see what other tropes and what are the vibes of some of the other books. But there are so many couples in this book. So many couples. Like, I don't even think I went back through and like looked to like understand who was doing what, like have it cemented in my head which couple was doing what, because there are just so many. It's just like, oh, this couple is doing this couple. There's just so many couples. So I'm sure there are like 5 more books that are on their way to be published. She already has 3 or 4 other ones that I'm guessing involve the other couples in this book. But it was great. It was great. It could have probably ended like around page 300, because I kind of want a book that like, I like Happily Ever After, of course, but it's also good when stuff doesn't work out, you know, because that's real life. But it was good. Solid read. Would recommend. I need to go through and actually underline the stuff from the pages I folded, but it was also fun just reading a physical book. Physical book and Kindle, like, I don't know which one's better, but they both have their pros and their cons. It was fun. Fun, enjoyment, probably about 10 hours of reading, I think, for this. Well, that was it for this book. Thank you for joining Bookmas today. Hope you stick around for the next one. Anyways, if you want to check me out on Goodreads and stay up to date with what I'm reading, you can check me out there. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.